So let's talk about being on the registry. Now let's talk about in the deep south where this person is. Uh, uh, I don't know who wrote this particular, but the deep south for the previous person is Florida. Uh, in Florida, you have to go in person 4 times a year.
Yeah, it's like
If
it's quarterly. And
if you
more if
don't
you
go
have things to update.
if you don't go in those 4 times, you're subjected to prosecution. Okay, when you leave the state of Florida, you no longer have that obligation. Okay, so that's one difference. When you're in Florida, if you're in uh, Miami-Dade County, you have a 2,500-foot restriction. In the rest of the state, you have a 1,000-foot restriction that applies to many PFRs. I don't know if it applies to all, but it applies to a heck of a lot of them. So they tell you where you can live and where you can't live, and you're subject to prosecution. You don't have that prosecution threat. You don't have to go in and give your butt print, fingerprints. You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have any prohibitions about where you can work that Florida can enforce or where you can live that Florida can enforce. They don't have any travel restrictions where you have to give any plans for travel, anything like that. All those things go by the wayside. So you have what is the remnants of a prior registration listed on the internet. And it likely says after you've moved to the other state, living in the state, and it names the state. Sometimes I've seen it actually have that address where you told them you were moving to, but then that address doesn't continue to be updated. Is it ideal to have your stuff on the internet? No, it is not
And then
ideal.
and isn't it static at that point that at that point you could tattoo your face and grow your hair long or whatever, and the picture that's on there is going to be what it was when you last had your picture taken?
That would be correct. And so if you went to Rhode Island and you got off the registry, then you would have nothing approximating registration. So therefore, I know the wacky weed and the Kool-Aid that they're talking about, but I don't understand how they can equate it to being registered. It is a very inconvenient, disgusting thing, but it's not anything approximating registration. Is it?